Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into different Databricks data engineering concepts. And this is more focused on how to get data into Databricks. So talking about Lakeflow Connect. And then we'll talk about inside of Lakeflow Connect, we have fully managed connectors and standard connectors. And then we also have a way to manually upload file to volume. And we also will talk about different tables and view types and what they mean. Some of them are used in SDP Spark Declarative Pipelines. So we'll talk a little bit about Spark Declarative Pipelines, also on how to create ETL pipelines in Databricks. So this is just a purely conceptual video, and in other videos I have more practical ones. So I will create another one with Lakeflow Connect, where we will use a fully managed connector to connect to a certain service. So let's go into the slides and talk about what this means with the Lakeflow Connect and ways to get data into Databricks. So we can manually upload files to volume, and we can create incremental ingestion with Lakeflow Connect. And with this, we have fully managed connectors and standard connectors. So it means that we have connected to a certain service. So there are some services that are used quite a lot. And then Databricks have decided to have created some standard services, some standard connectors, so that you can use the GUI to just connect it and get your data flowing from your target, from your source to your destination. Okay. So here we have, for manually uploading files to volume, you have only raw files inside of Databricks. So you create subsequent objects. So you create the volume and then you upload the file into it. And then we have in the Lakeflow Connect for fully managed connectors. So we have, for example, different SaaS applications like Meta Ads, we have Salesforce, ServiceNow, etc. For databases, we have MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL. And here is basically you use a simple UI, so graphical user interface, to create a connection. And you're creating an ingestion pipeline. And you have decided on the destination so that it goes into Databricks, but somewhere in your unit catalog. So here you get the data inside from some kind of source. And then you have the standard connectors as well. And these are like other data sources, for example, SFTP servers, Apache Kafka, etc. And these are more code-based and requires more customizations, but it's still common so that they give you some kind of frame to work with. So these are some standard connectors. And moving on here, we'll talk a little bit about the different tables and view types. So we have managed table, we have streaming table, we have view, we have materialized view, and also talking about the SDP, we also have temporary view, which I haven't written here, I see. So you have different tables and views, and managed tables is the normal Delta table in Databricks, or it uses Delta table in the background. So Databricks fully manages both the data and the storage and the metadata. So this is the managed table, and then we have the streaming table, which is a table that is only updated with new data. So when you're using, for example, Spark Declarative Pipeline, you can define one of the data assets you can define is streaming table. And then whenever you put in new data, it will ingest those as well. And then we have view, and a view is a normal database view. So it's a virtual table defined by query. So it doesn't store anything. And this query, it is computed each time it is accessed. So then you use computing, but you don't use the storage. So, and also the thing is, by using view, you get the updated data. And then we have materialized view, and a materialized view is a view where the query result is physically stored. So this is materialized views, and this is very common to use for more complex logic. So I'll actually go into the browser here, and I will go into, here's a browser, and here I will search for Spark Declarative pipeline best practice. So I'll go into the documentation, and in here you can choose, it says choose the right data type, data set type for, we have these free streaming tables, materialized views, and temporary views. And you can see here is some recommendation for when to use what. For example, for ingestion from cloud storage or message bus, we use streaming table, CDC streams, streaming table, etc. And then for more complex aggregations and joins, we use materialized view, etc. And also here, intermediate transformations, we use temporary view. So there's some guidelines for you to choose between them, okay? So this is good to know that you have the documentation as support. Okay, and then we'll talk a little bit about ETL pipeline before we end this. So it can be built with Lakeflow Spark Declarative Pipelines, so SDP, or you can use standard Apache Spark. Okay, and SDP, it becomes very easy to have declarative coding. So you're describing what you want to have, and then the engine will calculate it and compute the pan and do everything behind the scenes. In contrast, in Apache Spark, you're defining everything imperatively. So it's imperative programming. And the thing here is that it becomes more verbose, more code to do the same thing. However, there's more flexibility. So you can do more things with standard Apache Spark than with Spark Declarative Pipelines, okay? So if you need, you can combine these two. Nothing says that you have to stick with one or the other. So for example, simplified steps with Lakeflow SDP is like this. You define the data assets in Python and SQL, Python or SQL, and then you have ETL pipeline that determines the interdependencies of the data assets. So you will have a data lineage of your data. You will see each of the transformation steps. So this is really nice. And it's easy to follow and debug whenever something goes wrong, and also very easy to know, like, how do you get the data that you get? What type of transformations have it gone through? And then you can also schedule the ETL pipeline with Lakeflow job. So remember, we have 3 different parts in Lakeflow. We have Lakeflow Connect to ingest the data. We have Lakeflow SDP, Spark Declarative Pipeline, for doing the transformations. We have Lakeflow job for doing the orchestration. Yes, and this is what I want to talk about in this short Databricks data engineering concepts for getting data in and some different types of tables and views, so that you will have some general understanding. And this is related to, a lot is related to the bronze layer when we get in the coding part, but we will also do the whole ETL pipeline in the coding parts as well. So don't miss out the practical coding parts and go into and watch those videos. So thank you for watching this video. Bye.